But if you were a kid in the 50s, there was one show you ran home from school to watch.
Greetings from Magic Island. Now here's Axel and His Dog, starring Clellan Card as Axel. Away out in the forest, high in a big treehouse, lives our old friend Axel. Let's climb up the treehouse and see what's happening today.
Hi, kids. This is Axel. And Happy New Year to you all, being the very first day of the year. January 1st, 1956. Oh, Happy New Year to you all. I hope you will have a good year. Health and happiness cast after glay and all of that sort of stuff. I don't know who's hollering the loudest here, but I know who ain't singing on key, and that ain't me.
There was Grandpa Ken on Channel 9, and there were Casey and Roundhouse on Channel 11. And they were great, but for whatever reason, it was Axel that, to me, seemed most like he was my friend.
Oh, yeah, let's wave to Patty this morning, shall we? Hi, Patty, how are you? Say hello to the folks for me. We'll be over to borrow a cup of sugar very shortly.
The man behind the striped shirt, the funny mustache, and the twisted Scandinavian accent was Clellan Card, and his was by far the most popular children's show of its day. Not even national shows could touch Axel and His Dog, which enjoyed a 12-year run on Channel 4. By the time he came to television, Clellan Card was already an established radio star.
It's sunken at the card table time and temperature.
It was on radio where he first recited his rendition of The Night Before Christmas. So popular, it became a yearly tradition.
More faster than eagles his horses they came, and he whistled and hollered and called them all names. On Tackhead, on Stupid, on Saskatchewan.
But as he made the switch to television, tragedy seemed to change the course of his career. In September of 1952, Clellan's oldest son, Peter, was killed in a plane crash. Just 4 months later, his second son, John, was killed in a car accident just a few blocks from his home.
I don't think it's a coincidence that really for the rest of his life, his career revolved around children.
The son says, "May I have a dime, Pop?" When I was a boy, I only asked for pennies. All right, may I have 10 pennies, Pop? Can't get around these kids. They're all smart, aren't they?
He had this way of saying things that drove my mother nuts. She was an English teacher, and she was absolutely convinced that her kids were going to grow up talking like Axel.
What is a volcano? Volcano. Volcano, what it says there.
Volcano.
Volcano, that's what I says. What did Franklin say when he discovered electricity? What's the best thing to put in a hot dog?
I can remember at dinner, instead of saying, "Mom, would you please put some meatloaf on my plate?" it was, "Would you please pute some meatloaf on my plate?" And she'd say, "Oh, that Axel."
The best thing to put in a hot dog is your teeth.
Axel's companions in the treehouse were Towser the dog and Tallulah the cat, who remained unseen except for their paws. The show relied on the children to use their imaginations to fill in the rest, which is why the following outtake was never seen at home.
Say, I see a sign.
Hello, kids, this is Tallulah. Hello.
My nerves are frazzled. Gee whiz.
And I never felt any embarrassment at all about being nothing but a paw. I loved it.
Actor Don Stolz played both Aminals, and he and Card quickly became an effective comedy team, entertaining adults and children alike with humor that was live and unrehearsed.
This dog comes leaping at me, you know, and he wants to sit in my lap all the time. He's only about umpteen feet tall, you know. I suppose I'll have to be running along now. And the usual thing winds up our treehouse session, you know.
Every show ended with a birdie.
Birdie with the yellow bill hopped upon my windowsill, cocked, how did it go, cocked his...
Birdie with the yellow bill hopped upon my windowsill, cocked his shining eye and says, "What do you think this is, Mary? Christmas?"
There were hundreds of them, and they were all really bad.
What did you do when you sat on the bed? Spring? What did you do after you ate the ginger? Snap? What's the trouble with the baby? Buggy?
But they were so bad, and Axel delivered it with such panache that you really almost had to laugh.
What was your boyfriend's name, Jesse? James? Well, I'll see you, Towser. Stop it. ZYXWVUTSRQPONMLKJIHGFEDCBA. Did you know that is something that nobody else can do?